Hello everybody. This is Greg Moulton from Matrix Motion Fitness Studios, and we are here going through our best year ever workshop. The goal to this workshop is to look at the coming year, to set up some goals, some targets for what you want to be able to accomplish, find a way to reverse engineer that a little bit so that we can put in action items throughout the year so that you can actually accomplish what you've set out to work for. Our tagline or saying for this year is be the person you look up to. This we find to be a very powerful saying that we want you to keep in mind throughout this coming year. We have all spent time on social media, scrolling through our feeds, looking at people that we wish we were more like. Oh, that person can do a squat of that much weight. Oh, this person can run that far. And these are all things that we strive for. But this year, we want to put those action items in place so that you are that person by the end of this year. So for this year, focus on being the person you look up to. Now, as we get into this workshop, I would definitely recommend having a notepad and a pen handy because we will be encouraging you to take some time to pause the workshop, write down some thoughts, answer some questions, and that way you can actually take action right now as we work through this workshop. So let's get started. The first step to all of this is making sure that we recognize what we have accomplished in the previous year. So right now, I want you to take some time and write down a list of proud moments that you have completed, accomplished, worked towards in this past year. Any lessons that you have learned, anything that you are grateful for, write those down now. That way we can have a great starting point and a positive foot forwards to this workshop. It's also important as we go through this to recognize that progress is not linear as it shows in this picture. But the point to this is that each arrow, each action item that you move is one step closer towards your target. And as you work your way up the ladder or up the staircase, you are going to get yourself closer and closer to what you are striving for, that target, that goal that you've set in place. We want to make sure that we can clearly define those targets, and we want to make sure that we are putting more into our lives that fill us up, that energize us, that completes who we are as a person. So as we go through this, again, we are going to be working on what are those steps to get us to those targets. So the first question we want to ask, when do you feel most alive in your personal and professional life? Take 5 minutes and brainstorm the first things that come to your mind when answering that question. When do you feel most alive in your personal and professional life? So take 5 minutes now. The next question that we want to go over is what is most important to you in your relationships? Your family relationships, your partner, spouse relationships, your circle of friends, and your coworkers. Again, take just 5 minutes, write down answers to these questions and quick brainstorms. Don't think about them too much. Write down the first thing that comes to your mind. The last question for right now is what is most important to you in your work? What are the professional activities that light you up? What brings a smile to your face? We are typically spending most of our day at work. And so we want to ensure that those activities are filling our cup. So again, take just 5 minutes and write out what is most important to you in your work. Don't think too much about it. Just write what comes to your mind. Now, there are 5 keys to having your best year ever. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, first step, we're recognizing what your worldview is. So, how you interpret the world around you. And some of those questions that we just answered, those are going to help to shape what your worldview is. What is the most important part to your world? Values. These are what's considered important to you. So we all have a set of core values, whether they are explicitly written down or just internal. We all have these core values that shape our decisions. Vision. We need a plan for the future. It is not good enough just to say, I want to save more money. I want to become healthy. Those are great segments, great things to strive for, but we need a plan, a vision for what the future will look like for you. The best vision is always one that is detailed and outlines the specifics you really want to be in the future when you're writing that out. Step 4, we need goals, a desired result. It's going to be a series of goals that are going to work towards your vision. So each of these goals are all going to be aligned with your vision. And then finally, step 5, habits, a regular tendency or practice. These habits are going to be implemented, they're action items to work towards your goals. And it's building these habits that can often be the most challenging part of all of this. It's changing how you approach your day, your week, and how to properly implement positive change within your life. So we've already touched on the worldview to some point, looking at those initial 3 questions that we went through and kind of how you interpret the world around you. What is most important? What's filling you up? Your values. This is next. We want you now, again, we're going to take some time here as well, but we want to clearly define what values you have. What are your core values? List these items on a piece of paper. Again, take a couple minutes. We want to find the items that you base your decisions off of. If you go to make a decision that does not align with your values, we typically steer away from that decision. We choose something else. So these values, this is what helps shape the decisions that we want to make. So right now, I want you to take time, pause this video, write out what are your top, 3 to 5 core values in your life right now. From there, we can look at visioning. And this is a fun exercise to do and something that I encourage you to do on a somewhat regular basis. It is often a good idea to have this vision written out and you keep it on your desk, by your bedside table, somewhere that you will see it on a regular basis and read through it. Are you in line with this vision as time goes on? What needs to change as the months carry on? But these 8 steps to visioning. So again, we're going to take some time to go through this, but let's talk it through first. So number 1, you got to pick your topic. So we're visioning for this coming year. We can vision out kind of step 2, pick your time frame. We can look at like a 3 to 5 year time frame. We can do a big 30,000 square foot view and then bring it down into more of an immediate scenario. But we're looking at creating an idea of what we want to look for. What will your life look like in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? You want to put together a list of prouds, of proud moments. So back to where we start at the very beginning today of listing your proud accomplishments, those proud moments, those lessons learned from the previous year. We want to forecast that into this coming year. What are you going to be most proud of at the end of this year? Step 4, is you want to write the first draft. And ultimately, this is always just going to be a draft. There is never really a final copy, a good copy of this vision, because it is always ever changing. When you write your first draft, we are looking for something great. Don't limit yourself. Write it from your heart, not your head. Figure out the how later. Right now, we just want to know, what are your big dreams? What are the things you want to be able to accomplish this year? You want to get in the future. You want to talk like you're already there. Talk like you've done it, like you've accomplished it. Talk about how good you feel. Talk about the excitement that it brings, and put yourself in your shoes at the end of this time frame. The last step to this is you want to go quickly. The term I use is have a hot pen. Again, don't think, just write. After that, we're going to review it. We might redraft it. We'll make some tweaks and edits as we go through it. We'll do some more review, more redraft, but those come after time. It's not something that we're going to be working on today. It's not something that's going to happen this week. Those review and redrafts are going to happen over the course of weeks and months and years. And it's this constant document that is ever changing. We would encourage you to get input from advisors or mentors or friends or family, and have them review it with you. These are often opportunities where somebody from the outside can look at what you've written, and they might think you've sold yourself short, like you're not striving for enough. These individuals can help challenge your thought process and making sure that you are truly reaching your potential through this exercise. And then share your vision with them, with others, but just have it readily available. This is who I am. This is what I'm striving for. So I want you to take a moment right now. I want you to write the first draft of your vision. I want you to go for something great. Write it from your heart. Try to figure out the how later. Get in the future. Talk like you're there, and go quickly. Just write, write, write. And let's see where we come from. All right, do that now. Some things to keep in mind as you're going through this is, what does success look like this coming year? We all have the same amount of time. How we use our time is entirely up to us. Will you look back and say, yes, I am so proud that I did blank? Or will it be, I wish I did better? Let's make sure that you're proud of the next year, 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days, 8,760 hours, 525, 600,000 minutes, 31,536,000 seconds. That is what we've got to work with. Be proud of it. Some example topics of what you can add to your vision. We can look at your relationships. We can look at fitness. We can look at how you manage your time, how you manage your finances, the progress that you make at work, your home life, what hobbies or leisure activities you want to focus on. These are just examples. You can take from this list, or you can add your own, but making sure that you are dreaming big through this vision. So again, make sure you take some time to write this out. Be candid with it. Don't limit your potential, and just write from the heart. What needs to happen in the next 6 to 8 weeks to move you towards that future? This is now where we're going to start putting a timeline in place. We've got this vision. We have the big picture. Now, what do we have to do in the immediate future in the immediate time frame of that 6 to 8 week period to move you towards your vision. And this is where goals come into play. So there's 3 different types of goals. Our first is a process goals. These are specific actions or processes of performing. For example, aiming to study for 2 hours after dinner every day, right? A process goal is 100% controllable by you. A performance goal, these are based on personal standards. So for example, sticking with that study kind of example, I'm going to aim to achieve a 3.5 GPA. So personal goals and performance goals are mostly controllable. Outcome goals are based on winning. So for a college student, this could look like landing a job in your field or landing a job at a particular place of employment that you wanted. Outcome goals are very difficult to control because they're outside of your influence. So we want to make sure that we are initially looking at setting our process goals. So what are those specific actions or processes that we can do on a daily basis to work towards our performance goal on a bit of a bigger picture? And as we accomplish those performance goals, we will be able to get closer to our outcome goals, assuming that we have put that time and effort into it and that the others who are going to be influencing those outcome goals are aligned with where you're at. We also want to make sure that we have a wildly important goal. So for the example that I put on here, we want to lose 10 pounds. So some of our lead measures are going to be getting in 12 workouts per month, roughly 3 workouts a week. We can create a scoreboard. We can have a workout tracker. We can just check off little marks that tracks how close you are getting to your lead measures and how close you're getting to those targets. And we also need to have a cadence of accountability, a gym buddy, signing up for sessions, pre-setting a schedule. These are all the things that we can work on to work towards our wildly important goal. So right now, I do encourage you to write out 1, 2, maybe 3 wildly important goals that you want to be able to accomplish this coming year. We want to push out the old habits and move in with some new habits, because these new habits are going to be the framework on what is going to build you towards your goals. Habits can often be quite challenging to change. We can get stuck in a rut, into that pattern that we always work through, the routine of our daily life. But when we're stuck in those old habits, we are limiting our potential. And right now, we don't want to limit our potential. We want to flourish, we want to thrive, and so we want to build new habits to get us there. Atomic Habits. This is a book by James Clear. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. It is a fantastic book with some great information that will push you to building the habits necessary to accomplish the goals you have set through your vision for this coming year. One important thing is that you do not rise to the level of your goals, but rather you fall to the level of your systems or habits. If the habits and systems in place are not going to accumulate in a manner that is going to build you up, you will not automatically rise to the level of your goal. You can set the greatest, most amazing goal ever, but if your system is not in place, you're not going to get there. Motivation is overrated. Motivation tends to be temporary. your environment often matters more. The commitment that you make, the determination that you have, that is going to be more important than motivation alone. Motivation is great to get started, but is not what's going to carry you through. And so setting the commitment to yourself to accomplish and build these habits is going to be very important. So one of the most effective things you can do to build better habits is to join a culture where, one, your desired behavior is the normal behavior, and two, you already have something in common with the group. So essentially, you want to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. If you are wanting to become healthier and you want to manage your eating better, you want to surround yourself with other people who eat healthy. If you put yourself into an environment that facilitates unhealthy eating, you are more likely to eat unhealthy. So surround yourself with the desired behavior you want in a normal behavior situation, and where those individuals already have something in common with you and with that group. So there's steps to creating a good habit. So the first law is a cue. So you got to make it obvious. The second law, a craving. Make it attractive. Third law is a response. Make it easy. With that fourth law being a reward. Make it satisfying. So making it obvious, a cue. If you are just starting to work out, one of the cues, one of the things to make it obvious, you can pull your workout clothes out the night before, have them out and ready so that it makes it very obvious that that's your first step of the day. Make it attractive. You can make sure that you go out and you purchase a new pair of workout clothes and not the old worn out stuff that you have before, or find a great program to join that makes it fun and exciting. Make it easy. Cut down the barriers of entry. Find a place close by. Find something that is convenient on your drive home from work. Find a response that is going to allow you to limit the barriers that are keeping you from creating that habit. And then the reward, make it satisfying. Give yourself grace, give yourself a reward for what you've accomplished. Now, breaking a bad habit is basically just the opposite. We follow the same laws, just in an inversion standpoint. So the inversion of the first law, we want to make it invisible. We want to take away that bad habit. Inversion of the second law, craving, we want to make it unattractive. Make it not look satisfying to you. From a response, make it difficult. Create barriers that make it more challenging to follow through with what is that bad habit. It's going to make it easier for you to break that. And the fourth one, reward, make it unsatisfying. Make it not desirable. If you have more questions about this aspect, I'm happy to talk to you in more depth. There's a lot that we can go through with this, and I don't want to take up too much of your time on that, but just a gist of this. Or, like I said, this comes straight from the Atomic Habits book, so you can get a copy of the book. The audio book is great to listen to as well. So I would highly encourage you to look at that as an option. So here is just an example of how to create a good habit. So under that first law, making it obvious, there's a habits scorecard. This is within the book, within the Atomic Habits book. There's a habits scorecard. You can write down your current habit and become aware of them. Use implementation intentions. I will enter behavior at this time in that location. Use habit stacking. This is important, habit stacking. So after a current habit, I will do the new habit. So if the goal is to read more, so habit stack that with something you already do. I drink a coffee in the morning. While I drink my coffee, I am going to read. That's going to take a current habit, add in the new habit, stack them together, and you're good. You want to design your environment, so make the cues of good habits obvious and visible. Make it attractive. Use temptation bundling. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. Join a culture where desired behavior is the normal behavior. If we're looking from a fitness standpoint, that's where Matrix of Motion comes into play. Create a motivation ritual. So do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit. Make it easy. Reduce friction. Decrease the number of steps between you and your good habits. Prime the environment. Prepare your environment to make future actions easier. Master the decisive moment. Optimize the small choices that deliver outsized impacts. There's the 2-minute rule. So you downscale your habits until they can be done in 2 minutes or less. This limits the dauntingness of that new task and that new habit. Make it easy. If it's going to take you 20 minutes and you're not going to follow through with it, you've got to find a better way to go about it. Start small. Start at 2 minutes. Add it to 3, then go to 4, then go to 5. And before you know it, you're working out for an hour, or you're reading for 20 minutes, or whatever that case might be. But start with just that 2-minute rule. You can also automate your habits. So invest in technology. There's one-time purchases that lock into future behavior. So you can look at using a reminder app on your phone. You can set a timer for certain aspects to it. But finding ways that you can automate some of your habits or the reminders to get you going into that direction. Satisfying. Use reinforcement. Give yourself an immediate reward when you complete your habit. Make doing nothing enjoyable. When avoiding a bad habit, design a way to see the benefits. Right? Use a habit tracker. Keep track of your habit streak and don't break the chain. In my day planner, I personally use something called the Passion Planner. And there is a habit checkbox every month, has every day. And you can write out your top 6 habits for that month. And every day you put a check mark when you've done it. And it's amazing to see that chain get longer and longer and longer. And eventually the goal is not to break the chain. And never miss twice. When you forget to do a habit, make sure you get back on track immediately. Give yourself the grace. Say, you know what? I missed it, but that's okay. I will not miss it twice in a row. And carry on from there. Now, planning. I'm sure you've all heard of this, but if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You don't want to be that person. So a day planner, I find, is so important in this process. Some people like a digital planner. Personally, I enjoy using my paper planner, my Passion Planner. Those are the ones that I use the most. There is also a great planner by Kay's Paper Company. This one is geared more towards women. It provides you with meal ideas. There's a grocery list on it. And so it kind of breaks out that aspect a little bit more. But those are 2 options for you that you can most definitely look at. But your best practice is plan your day, your week, your month. Set out those big rocks. What are those big things in that coming month that need to get done and accomplished? Within the week, what steps do you have to take to work towards the big month? And then plan your day the night before. Don't go into your day hoping for the best, because that you will not find success with. We need to plan the day, and when you plan the day, you plan for success. So just a quick recap here. 5 keys to having your best year ever. 1, recognizing what your worldview is, how you interpret the world around you. 2, your values. Have those core values set in place. What is considered important to you? Your vision. Have a plan for the future, making sure that you are forecasting the big things that you want to work towards, and don't limit your potential. From your vision, set goals, set a desired result that you want to work towards. And then finally, implement those habits, those regular tendencies or practices that are going to accumulate and build to that point. If you can follow those 5 keys, you are well on your way to your best year ever. So right now, I encourage all of you to take action. Take some time to go through all of this, to work on your vision, to review it, to redraft it, to share it, to set those goals, identify what those habits are, and take action now so that this year will be your best year ever. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am happy to answer them and help you through this. But I do want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this, to listen to this, and to join me on creating your best year ever. I hope it helps, and I'm excited to see what this year looks like for you.